Today, we're diving into the really colorful and, frankly, fascinating world of digital Islamic moral stories for kids. We're going to take a look at the core values being passed on to the next generation through these incredibly popular animated videos. Ready? Let's jump right in.
This one line, it's from one of the stories we're about to look at, and honestly, it gets right to the heart of everything we're discussing today. This idea is the foundation. It's the belief that shapes every single lesson, every character, and every obstacle we're about to see.
So how exactly are these ancient, timeless spiritual lessons being repackaged for a generation that lives on YouTube? We're going to break down 3 different animated stories, one about friendship, another on protection, and a third about duty, to really see the kind of moral universe that's being built for these young viewers.
And our source for all of this is the Islamic Kids official YouTube channel, which is, a huge hub for this kind of content. By zeroing in on these specific stories, we get a fantastic window into the values being shared with a massive online community.
Okay, first up, let's tackle this really big theme, the idea of having a personal relationship with God. The first story we're looking at introduces us to 2 friends, Abdullah and Khalid, and they have completely opposite ways of looking at the world.
And right here, you see the central conflict laid out so clearly. On one side, you've got Khalid. His motto is believe in yourself. He's all about self-reliance. But then you have Abdullah, who says, I consider Allah my best friend. This isn't just a small disagreement. It's a fundamental clash of how they see the world.
And here's where we see that clash play out in real time. Khalid's whole believe in yourself attitude gets them into some serious trouble. He brushes off Abdullah's idea to pray because he thinks it's a waste of time. Well, what happens next? A storm hits, they get lost, and Khalid ends up falling into a pit. The key here is what Abdullah does. He doesn't panic and try to figure it out himself, he prays. And that prayer leads directly to this incredible rescue. The story draws a straight line from faith to a positive outcome.
This is the big lesson Abdullah shares with Khalid, who's definitely humbled by the whole experience. And the message is just crystal clear. True strength, true friendship, it comes from putting your trust in God, not just in your own abilities. In this world, self-reliance is actually a weakness, while faith, well, faith is the ultimate superpower.
Okay, so we've seen faith as a big idea, but how does that actually translate into everyday life? Our next story really digs into that, showing that faith isn't just something you believe in, it's something you do.
This second story is about a little girl named Fatima, and it presents the hijab as something much more than just a piece of clothing. In the context of the story, it's framed as a spiritual shield, a shield for protection, for honor, and for faith itself.
Now this sequence is really striking. A literal spiritual threat, this kind of dark, smoky thing, appears when Fatima's hair is accidentally uncovered, but she doesn't fight it with her fists. Her defense is entirely spiritual. First, she remembers what her mom taught her. Then she recites a specific prayer for protection, and boom, the evil presence is just gone. It's a very direct cause and effect. A specific religious action results in real, tangible, spiritual safety.
And this idea of faith in action continues right into our third story, which zooms in on a concept called khidmat. This is the vital duty of serving your parents, and in this case, specifically, serving one's mother. This line right here, this is the pivotal moment. It's spoken by the son, Abdullah. He has a major test at school that day, something that's obviously important for his future. But his mother is sick, and he makes a choice. He decides that taking care of her, performing that khidmat, is more important than his own personal goals. And the story shows us the direct results of that choice. Because of their selfless care, their mother gets better really quickly. And then their father comes in and reinforces the lesson, explaining that God makes things easier for people who serve their mothers. So the moral is unmistakable. This act of service isn't just about being a good son, it's presented as a direct path to earning divine blessings. All right, so we've looked at 3 really different stories: friendship, protection, and duty. But is there one big, overarching lesson that connects them all? You bet there is.
When you lay it all out like this, the pattern becomes so clear. In every single story, a character faces a big challenge, and their response is what matters. When the response is arrogance, or fear, or self-interest, it leads to problems. But when the response is prayer, a pious action, or service, all of which are really forms of humility, that's what brings strength, protection, and blessings.
And that's really the bottom line. That's the one core message woven through every one of these tales. True strength, true protection, a true sense of purpose, they aren't found in relying on yourself. They're found in humility and in trusting God.
It's a complete roadmap for how to live.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What does it mean that these ancient lessons are finding such a powerful new life online? It tells us something really important about how timeless values, faith, duty, community, are being passed down in our totally digital world. These aren't just cartoons. They're actively shaping the moral compass for a whole new generation. It's definitely something worth thinking about.